All right, time to go. All right. We are here, grand finals with Shark on the winner's side, OSW on the loser's side here. So, all right, we see STP spin versus MS2. Some C spins on both sides as, okay, OSW is at a little bit of an awkward spot at the top of the board. Both players down stacking, a little bit of cheese in OSW's queue right now, getting through it really well. Shark finding that back-to-back in that 9-0 stack and slowing down a little bit to keep that back-to-back, breaking it even with the cheese on the board. And OSW misdropping that Z piece over to the side. He's going to seal his fate. All right, C-spin openers from both sides. OSW misdrops the PC. You had the right pieces, just one more button. All right, OSW finds the first back-to-back here, pushes Shark up to the top of the board. Shark finds a 13 spike. OSW's not in a great spot, breaks their back-to-back, able to get out of it in time, but Shark is continuing to layer on the damage, finding a nice spike there, and OSW's up at the top with some pretty messy cheese underneath their stack. Shark is staying pretty low on the board for now, kind of just waiting for that damage to come in, and that damage does come in the form of cheese, and so Shark is going to combo downstack this here, finding a 15, and OSW is going to be stacking on top of the garbage, breaks the back-to-back for the combo right there, only to be greeted with more cheese on the board. Shark is going to get a lot of clean garbage here from OSW, and OSW is a little bit of a rough situation on the board. Looks potentially self-imposed, but gets through it, and Shark is just finding these all spins to continue this back-to-back, building that up 11 versus 6 right now. And so OSW is just spamming out that attack. Both players break their back-to-back and almost nothing happens. OSW misdrops an S piece over the well, is slowed down a little bit trying to, oh my God, that Z piece. Yeah, no, nothing there. Second point to Shark. MS2 versus SDPC spin. Shark with a nice TST over here, just kind of taking things slow for now. OSW pushing them up to the top of the board as they see the SZT right there. Yeah, that's not really going to help you get down there. Shark just did not have an I piece soon enough in the queue with pieces that they could work with to downstack that. And so first point to OSW, Shark is going to be throwing us the MS2 now. Starts with an early 18 spike from that opener, and OSW is just LSTing on top of the garbage, because what else would you do when you're being hit with an MS2 from the other side? Misdrops a Z piece right there and is going to be forced up at the top of the board for a little bit. Combo down stack from OSW, but Shark is just layering on these all spin minis and plonking a little bit. Shark has a little bit of cheese to work through here, is going to try to do that now. OSW, that board is just not easy to deal with. Shark is definitely sending messier garbage than OSW just saw in that previous matchup, which, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. The play styles are just different there, and that's something that you just got to adapt to. So OSW misdrops. Pretty nice fix with that. Okay, so Shark misdrops as well and has some all spins to get out of it, but not able to fully keep back-to-back there as OSW sends and breaks that back-to-back just so quickly. Maybe just trying to feed Shark a little bit of their own medicine, cheesing up the board. And speaking of cheese, looks like OSW is some that may have been self-imposed and then adds to it with that S misdrop. Shark is building up this back-to-back here with a 7-2 stack. OSW up at the top of the board, finds a little bit of survival, misdrops a T piece, has an all spin fix, messes up the board a little bit, but look at this stack from Shark. This 16 surge built up here. That 37 spike is going to send OSW to the top. Could really only defend like 2/3 of it. But that's what happens when you build up enough back-to-back there. MS2 from Shark. OSW with just straight up an LST stack. Breaks back-to-back there. Shark gets that back-to-back first. Appeared to look like they were trying to do an L-spin mini right there, but that one doesn't work. And OSW misdrops a T-spin. Is that going to be the round? No, yes. Okay. 4 points for Shark here, who again is on the winner side. OSW is playing for a bracket reset here. TKI. A Shark, I'm pretty sure they, like, whenever someone slows down like that, I think they misdrop their first piece, and OSW is just misdropping a little bit or stacking over the wall. Not entirely sure what's going on over there, but Shark is pushed up to the top of the board, finds a 19 down stack from that. That's going to leave a little bit of cheese on OSW's board, and Shark's board is very clean right now, setting up a very nice cut copy over there, and well transferring so well, and setting up another cut copy. This is some just like textbook clean stacking, as OSW is that -8 on the board. Definitely trying to be ready for this, and Shark sends it in the form of a 34 spike, and OSW just barely not able to live. Yeah, the follow-up from Shark there was just what he needed to top out OSW. MS2 from Shark's side. OSW finding a PC there. Going for another one, but garbage coming in too quickly from Shark to find anything. Shark being dealt a little bit of 9-0 garbage here, and then swaps to an 0-9, interestingly enough, as OSW is just LSTing on top of the garbage, and a 32 spike goes Shark's way, but they're up at the bottom, or they're at the bottom of the board, so they have a lot of room to work with, a lot of runway, and they are able to live there. And OSW needs to downstack through this cheese right now, as Shark is finding back-to-back, finding some all spins, transferring out of that 9-0 stack into that 2-7, definitely going to be LSTing, even being dealt that 2-7 garbage, and OSW does not find the well in time. And Shark nearing the halfway point of this set. MS2 versus STPC spin. OSW had to break back to back there. Don't know if it was a misdrop or just trying to find the PC solve, but finds that back to back again. Shark going a little bit slow here, maybe screen watching a bit. OSW now has this 13 back-to-back and misdrops, but finds a way to oh, yeah, you got to break that. And that's not a good board state for OSW. Shark is going to try to take advantage of this, but OSW finds the eyepiece in the queue in time, sets up a nice cut copy into a 32 spike, and continues stacking just in case Shark lives. Shark would have lived if not for the follow-up there from OSW, and that is going to be a second point. TKI versus MS2 here. It's funny that both players are doing MS2, but like only on completely different bags. Like where OSW sees an MS2, Shark has been seeing SCPC spin, and where Shark has been seeing MS2, OSW has been doing TKI. All right. 18 spike there from Shark, 19 spike back from OSW, and Shark's board is not an ideal spot. They get through the holes that they had to make to save themselves. Still working through this. A little bit of kind of awkward silence there from both sides. All right, and Shark is back out of it, and OSW is continuing this back-to-back here. Has 7. Has 9, is likely going to have to break soon, sends that kite on, breaks, is at the top of the board, has a little bit of a down stack, but is it going to be enough? OSW stays alive for now, but finds the eyepiece that he needs to down stack through this, and Shark is going to try to build up that back-to-back again, breaks that pretty early on, sends a little bit of cheese OSW's way, and continues to stack at the bottom of the board here. A lot more T-spinning than all spinning going on right now for that back-to-back build-up, very much looking Season 1-esque in the lack of all spins. And OSW is not in the best spot at the top of the board, messes up a Z-spin, and does not have their way out. They had the beginning of that, but not quite. Oh, now they're both MS. Well, no, that's not even MS2 from OSW side. I don't even know which one that was. One of the C-spin openers. All right, that is a lot of cheese on OSW's board, as Shark is the first one to break back-to-back. OSW still needing to skim a little bit here, trying to find their way out of that, not seeing what they need to continue, and that's going to be an 8th point in Shark's favor. Shark only 3 points away from this win here and these sweet, sweet TWC points. No. OSW. No. Not the eye mistral. That's fatigue. I'm calling that's fatigue. OSW misrotates the Imperial Cross there. And Shark combo down stacks right here. It was potentially looking for all spins, but just kind of choosing to continue on. Little bit of cheese on OSW's board. He breaks back to back and starts stacking through it. And there's a 26 spike from Shark that OSW is just not going to be able to handle. And this is tournament point for Shark right here. Are you TST towering? Oh my god. All right, so... All right, yeah, that is going to be it for Shark. OSW finds the TST tower and not much else in that round. That, yeah, definitely was a little bit of a Hail Mary play there, but what can you do when you are down 10-2? And that is it.